I'm talking to Mel Tillis. Mel, tell me about your family. A lot of people would like to know the personal side of Mel Tillis.
Well, I'm married. I have 5 children and two little grandsons, and I've got 4 girls and a boy, which proves that stuttering ain't got nothing to do with it. No, I've got a fine family. I've got my eldest is Pam Tillis, and she records for Warner Brothers, and she's a very good writer. She gets a lot of pop songs recorded that you don't hear about much in town here. But then my son, Mel Jr.
Is his name Lonnie Melvin Tillis Jr.?
Yes, that's his name, and he's out of college now. He went to University of Florida, and he's out of college now, and he's works in the office, and he's writing, and he's singing now. He's doing some demos, and as a matter of fact, he'll be singing on your TV show here, Nashville Now, Thursday, Friday night, I think.
I'm looking forward to that.
And he'll sing, I think, some harmony with Pam.
All right.
I'm real proud of both of them, and my son is well. I don't want to brag too much up on him because he's doing it all on his own, and I give him my advice here and there, but
does he look like you?
Exactly.
All
Exactly.
right.
When I was a young man, he looks exactly. I got some pictures that you can't hardly tell the difference.
All right. Now, who's third in line?
Connie. Connie is isn't in the music business. She doesn't want to be in the music business, and she works for a restaurant out in Brentwood.
All right.
She's got her a good job. She likes it, and it's what she wants to do.
Fourth?
Is Cindy. Cindy is in Washington, D.C. She graduated from American University, and she lives up there, and she works for an investment company, and is doing real well.
How about the baby?
And my baby is Carrie April, and
how old is she now?
Carrie April is 15. But let me tell you what.
Is that the little girl that played the violin on my old Pop Goes the Country
Yes,
television show when she
yes.
was just a little thing?
I never will forget that because I had an old fiddle player that was with Haggard the other night, old Jimmy Belkins. And I had my little daughter on your show that day, and Belkins was with me at that time, and Carrie April was playing her little old Japanese fiddle Suzuki method. And after she got through playing a little old thing, old Belkins looked down and said, "Hell, I can do that."
And she was what, 4?
I think so.
She was 4 years old at the time. She was cute as she could be.
And she goes to Franklin Road Academy, and she's a freshman, and she's on the A team on the high school basketball team. They won about 3 games this year, but they're rebuilding. But she's doing good. I'm really excited, and I go to as many of her games as I can.
I'm talking to Mel Tillis. We're talking about the personal side of Mel Tillis. Miss Judy is your wife?
Mm-hmm.
And where do you live, Mel?
I live out on the farm out beyond Ashton City, Tennessee. I've got a little farm out there, and we live out there.
Well, it's northwest of Nashville. About how
Yeah.
far are you from downtown Nashville?
About 25 miles.
I don't imagine the tour buses get out to your place, do they?
No, but I have other people come out there in vans and that kind of stuff.
They found you.
Yeah, they found the house.
Now, you told me at one time that you thought you might move back to Florida because you love Florida.
Well, Florida has changed a lot since I moved to Tennessee. It's a lot more crowded. I think when I moved up here 30 years ago, there wasn't but about 4,000 or 5,000 people, 4 or 5 million people in Florida, of that many. And now there's, I don't know, 13 or 14 million people year-round, but at any given time, there's over 20 million people down there, and they're just, it's changed a lot. I intend to buy a boat, either a boat or an apartment or a little house on the beach down there. We've been looking at some places, but That's a few years away.
You told me one time when they first built Disney World that they built it right up the road from where you owned all this property.
Yeah, well, I sold my property. I sold it. Yeah, they did. Yeah.
And I thought, boy, Tillis is living right. Somebody's looking after him. You had a bunch of acres there, right?
No, I didn't have all that many acres. I had
Kissimmee?
20 acres.
Hey, when you
And
own
my dad lived there for a long time.
when you have 20 acres just outside Disney World, that's pretty good.
Well, it did pretty good. I sold it. I sold that thing last year, I think, or 2 years ago.
Is there a ride on it yet?
No. It's
or a motel or an attraction?
Not yet. It was off the road.
Mel, did you go to the University of Florida?
I went for 3 months.
I know that you are a big fan of the Gator
Oh yeah.
basketball, baseball, football team.
Yep.
And you still go down and watch their games in
Well, I
person?
went the other day. You're not going to believe this. I said, boys, I have to go down to Tampa, Florida, and play in a Wade Boggs golf tournament. Wade's from that area, from where I'm from, and he wanted me to come down there, and I did. But on the way, I was going to stop in at Auburn and see Auburn in Florida at Auburn. And I got Ben, my operational manager at the office, and I got my son, who went to school at the University of Florida, and the president of my publishing company, Steve Nobles, and Larry Lee was going with me, but he backed out. Well, I got all these jackets with the gators on them and orange and hats and stuff, and I said, now, boys, when we get there, I want y'all to put all this on, and we got our tickets are going to be in the gator section. Okay. We drive, and we get, and the bus was going to, after the Auburn game, the bus was going to take me to Atlanta, and I catch an airplane and fly on down, and then it was going coming on back to Nashville. Well, we get down there about 6 o'clock. I said, Ben, go get our tickets. And he went over there, and there was a few cars out there, tailgating. They were cooking the hamburgers and the hot dogs and that kind of stuff, and already having little parties and stuff from their back end of their car. And old Ben came back. He said the box office isn't open. He said, but I asked some guy what time the box office opens, and the guy said, I don't know. I said, you were talking to their quarterback. I said, go find somebody in the basket. Kidding. And I said, we'll catch a cab and go eat something. If we leave here now, we're going to lose our parking space. So old Ben, he went back over there. And he come back, and he said, hey, he said the game was at 1 o'clock today. He said, they're practicing for UNLV tomorrow at noon on TV.
What time was this? What?
It was about 6:30 by that time.
And they'd already played the game?
At 1 o'clock and lost. Well, you're talking about somebody that was mad, and then we got tickled and laughed about it. But they took us on to Atlanta and put us out, and we caught a flight immediately. Went on to Tampa. Me and other old boy's name, baseball player. Me and Carlton Fisk got the Ironman Award at the golf tournament in Tampa because we stayed up the latest and roared for 3 days, and nobody could keep up with us.
Well, that's because of all that Roger Miller training you had.
No, sir. I came from the Webb Pierce Schoolhouse. Roger Miller couldn't hold a candlelight.
We're talking about a long time ago. Mel, it's 1987. A lot of folks will see you this year in various places. What special things are going to happen to you this year?
Well, Ralph, you know that I do have the largest band in country music, and I'm looking.
How big is your band?
I've got 12 musicians.
And one of the best bands I've ever heard.
Well, thank you. They're a good road band, and I'm and I dress them real well.
They still play that great
not-
arrangement of Orange Blossom Special.
Oh yeah, they got a good arrangement on just about anything we do now. And I'm anxious for the people to get to see them. A lot of people have already seen them, and we've had so many compliments in Cleveland the other night. When they hit the stage, boy, I never heard so many oohs and ahs and standing ovations before we ever even played any music, you know, because I think the people appreciated the fact that there were still some bands around who, and I'm not knocking the other people. You know, what's good for me is good for me. It may not be good for David Allen Coe or whoever. You know, how they dress their bands is their business. And I don't knock that, you know. But they seem to like the way that I present myself on stage with the band. I'm looking forward to making the rounds with them at least one more time. And
What do you mean at least? Yeah, that sounds so final.
there has to come a time when I'll have to step down.
Are you thinking about retiring?
Well, eventually I'm going to have to. Not from the business. I'll be in the business. I'll be doing movies, and I'll be doing TV shows and
You think you
running
will-
our publishing companies.
You think you will reach a point when you will quit hitting the road?
As much. I'll do. You know, I'll always do some performing, but eventually I'll cut down to maybe a skeleton crew and I'll work.
On your present schedule, how many days a month do you stay on the road?
Well, currently we'll end up with about 150 dates this year.
How many hit records have you had in your career?
Well, I've had 54 albums. I think I've had 36 top 10 records and about 18 number one records.
What was the biggest?
I guess would be Coca-Cola Cowboy.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That's interesting. That sort of came out of left field, too, didn't it?
It sure did. Clint Eastwood and Snuff Garrett, they were the masterminds of that. They found two songs, Coca-Cola Cowboy and Send Me Down to Tucson.
Which were in the movie...
Every Which Way But Loose. They wanted me to sing them in there, and I said I didn't want to. I didn't like them. And Clint threatened to beat me up if I didn't. And I recorded them, and he was right. Both of them were number one songs.
Now, let's pick out 5 most popular songs that you've ever done that have had the greatest impact either on stage or record sales-wise or whatever that you've ever done.
Okay.
Coca-Cola Cowboy would be one, right?
Right. And Who's Julie?
Who's Julie?
I Got the Hoss, If You Got the Saddle is my most requested song. on
Is
the
it
road.
really?
Yes, after 30 years, I Got the Hoss and You Got the Saddle is my most requested. I can't hardly believe that, but it is. Let's see, if you got I Believe in You.
All right, it'll be 4.
Let's see, I Ain't Never. Or
Okay.
Sawmill, maybe.
Okay, all right. Let me ask you this. Did you read in Merle Haggard's book about his wedding?
Yes, I did. Rose Maddox,
Yeah, when Merle, I guess, married
Leona
Williams.
Rose Maddox, she sang I Got the Hoss, If You Got the Saddle at the wedding.
Yeah, is that a crazy wedding song?
Yes.
That's one of the funniest things I've ever heard. And here's a wild and woolly story about Mel visiting a lingerie store to look at the pretty girls.
I went to Atlanta with Warner Mack and Lester Vanendor, and we went to a lingerie luncheon with John Fox. You know John Fox, he's deceased now. And he took us to a luncheon, and they served wine and stuff at the luncheon, you know. So, I got to tasting the wine. And the first negligee that came out, the lady came out, wearing it.
Models are modeling lingerie.
Models.
Okay.
And there was about, I don't know, 400 or 500 people there. The first one I bought, I was feeling good. The wine was good. The first one I bought, well, I got the little old thing. It wasn't much. Didn't even weigh nothing. And I got it back to the hotel, and we was having a party. Some friends of ours had come over from Nashville, and there were some ladies there, but they weren't with us. Anyway, they were at the party, and I was feeling good, so I tried on the negligee. I had forgotten that
Why did you try on the negligee?
I wanted to entertain them and this, that, the other, and I had forgot that Warner and I and Lester had called our wives and told them to come over the next day. And we forgot about it. Well, a knock comes on the door, and I said, I'll get it, and I perioded over to the door.
You what?
I perioded. I did a period. And opened my door, and there stood all three of our wives. Well, Lord have mercy.
And there you are in your
And there I was in the negligee, and a room full of people and women was in there. I closed the door, and I started to sing. And I said, oh, our wives are here, Warner. Lester, yours is too. Because I know I couldn't get it out. And it just so happened we was in a room that was, we had two rooms, you know, side by side. And they split. And it was an empty room. And I said, well, that's good. Now what? So I opened my door, and I said, honey, look here. I said, look here. What I bought you. And I got out of it, Ralph. I didn't do nothing. I wasn't guilty of anything, but it just looked funny with me standing there with a little peach negligee on.
What did Doris say?
Oh, they laughed. They fell out.
Mel Tillis is one of the all-time great performers in country music. Certainly made great contributions, and probably is one of the most recognizable people in our business. Everybody knows Mel Tillis.
TV has allowed that, I think.
And I guess you first really got your hooks into television on the Glenn Campbell Good Time Hour on CBS television, didn't you?
Right. Well, it started with Porter Wagoner. And
yeah,
from
you
there
weren't on the Porter Wagoner show long, though, were you?
No, I was on there about a year. Or 8 or 9 months, I guess.
And you were on 8 or 9 months out of that show was on about 17 years. Mm-hmm. But you quit for I thought a very interesting reason. You want to tell them about that?
I didn't quit. I got fired.
Well, no, I thought you quit because you didn't feel like you would grow in the shadow of Porter Wagoner.
No.
That wasn't it?
No.
You got fired?
I got fired.
Porter Wagoner fired you?
He sure did.
Why did he fire you, Mel?
Well, you know, at that time, my career was just beginning to get recognized, especially my recording career. And I could go in a truck stop, and I'd have maybe 4 or 5 records on the jukebox, and Porter wouldn't have any. Well, I'd kind of rub it in. I said, boy, they loaded me up, didn't they? And this went on, and I was getting quite a bit of mail and this, that, the other, and it just got to a point. I went down one night to have some chili at Line Balls, and I got in a fight down there. I didn't intend to, but somebody jumped on us, and I got hit in the neck, and I couldn't. I called Porter, and I told him I couldn't be on the opera. I couldn't sing that night. I said, if somebody sucker punched me in the neck and I couldn't sing, he said, I've already heard about it. He said, I want you to come over here and meet me tomorrow at my apartment. So I went over there. I said, well, this is it. I'm going to get the axe. And I went over there, and he said, and he told me, he said that I wasn't the image that he wanted to project on TV and to his audience. I said, well, okay. I said, whatever you think. And the very next Monday, I got a call from Glenn Campbell. So I went from Porter Wagoner to the Glenn Campbell show. But now Porter and I are friends, and it happened along when things were rocky there, and for Porter and for Dolly and myself, you know, and we're great friends. You know, we're still good friends and everything.
Bill, I thank you for coming.
Hey, it's my pleasure, Ralph. Always is, and you know that. And thanks for asking us.
I'll ask you again.
Okay.